Welcome one and all my fellow fans of Clash of Clans from around the world. It is your host Galadon, and yes, in today's episode, oh man, well okay, so we tried the #1 attack in Clash of Clans for an entire day in Legend League, and the thought was, well, let's just see how powerful twin hogs can be. That's right, hog riders and super hog riders led the way to 2-star after 2-star after 2-star. And well, okay, so unfortunately, although we were seeking a completely broken attack, at the end of today's episode I will show you simultaneously Queen Charge Hybrid versus Queen Charge Twin Hogs against the same base at the same time. Now that the crying is out of the way, let's show you the final attack of the day. This was my 8th Legend League attempt, and some would say practice makes perfect, others would say Galadon, you just suck, and a few would say, oh wait, I should subscribe to this guy because he's doing his best to bring you the earliest and most accurate update information and cool Clash content like today's episode, which essentially just dumbs down a very solid attack that is hogs and super hogs for the rest of us, right? We've brought a minimum of a variety of troops. We've got some wall breakers, we've got the balloons to protect the healers, 5 healers of course, and with the Queen Charge, our intention is always to get the Town Hall out of the way first whenever possible, and any other high value targets, also creating a funnel that will be completed on the opposite side by the King and the Siege Barracks. And then we just kind of cross our fingers and hope that our spell timing and placement works out. It didn't, at least not that well in the first 7 attacks. I did have all 2 stars, if you saw. We didn't have any 1-star fails, but I was hoping for some more triples, and we're finally going to see one right here before, like I said, we put this side by side at the exact same time with a Queen Charge Hybrid, and the outcome is interesting, not to mention just watching 2 attacks against the identical base at the same time. It's kind of cool, so stay tuned for that as we took out the Town Hall, funneled on the opposite side with the King and the Siege Barracks, and then dropped all of the hogs in with the Warden and the Royal Champion, and like I said, just kind of hoped that our spell timing and placement worked out. You can see my first heal is already down. Warden ability, I usually try to time it as we're in on some of those powerful defenses, and the Eagle is about to drop another series of shells on my troops. And then the final heal, once again, trying to look for the troops that need it the most. There you'll notice that everyone seemed to avoid it and run to the left and to the right out of the heal spell, but through some miracle of maybe poor base design, a little bit of luck, and a tiniest amount of skill, we are going to manage to wipe out this base. And it felt good, even though it was the 8th attempt, which I would say leads me to believe that I might need to switch back to Queen Charge Hybrid. This attack is so similar, right? It's very, very similar to using miners. In fact, nothing varies other than the troop that you're deploying down the middle alongside the hog riders. So I would think that this is a really true test of just how strong super hog riders are. And you'll see exactly what I mean in just a few seconds as we finally wrap this one up, taking down the Dark Elixir storage. And yes, of course, not all of these bases, if any of them, were fully maxed out. I'm still in the lower levels of Legend League, not exactly up in where the tough bases are, but that's fine. You know, we're learning a new attack, and I think that lower level Legend League, around 5,000 to 5,200, is an ideal place for anybody to experiment. And this is the Legend League log. As you can see, well, we should probably just focus on defense, right? Those defensive numbers looking amazing. Okay, here we go. Same time, different attack. On the top of your screen, that's going to be with Super Hogs. At the bottom, the standard Queen Charge Hybrid with miners instead. Everything else stayed exactly the same, more or less. You'll notice that we did forget to bring headhunters on the bottom attack, but other than that, pretty similar. And the entry, the spell timing and placement was meant to be as similar as possible as well. And surprisingly, the timing as far as amount of time elapsed in the attack worked out pretty similarly. there goes the king and the siege barracks right at 12 o'clock in both attacks. So a really rudimentary basic funnel. And yes, I realize that in this attack, because of the center town hall, we're not likely to get to the town hall with the queen charge. In fact, both times the queen kind of veers off to the right and starts to join the main procession of troops. And it looks like almost the exact same attack right now as they move through the middle. We've got the last rage down. We've got one of the heals down. The freeze spells usually right around the town hall. Obviously, some are better than others. Dealing with the clan castle, trying to throw a poison in there, and hoping to time the warden ability more or less with the destruction of the town hall, which finally is going to happen here. Okay, there on the bottom, we've got it done. On the top, it took a little bit longer to get through the town hall, and the hogs actually had to come back for it. There they go, and they're moving on. That could be one of the reasons that I'm leaning towards miners, because notice the miners are of course taking all of the buildings down on their way in, not really falling too far behind the hog riders, whereas hogs on hogs are only targeting defensive buildings, and you need to count on some cleanup troops to come in behind, or in my case, it just happened that the heroes worked out and got it done. I don't even know. But again, look at the attacks. Identical numbers at 78% as they move through the last 20% of the base. Looking good. Same amount of time left as well. So I would say nearly no difference whatsoever. Now there is a surprise at the very end of these attacks. If you can guess what it is, let me know. But I, again, prefer miners. I want to bring the miners in because the sheer number, the volume of troops is higher, even though of course the super hog riders split into hogs and riders. Watch the miners, 92% were actually below damage for the twin hogs. But this just funny little development here at the top, we've got to come back after 3 more buildings, where with the miners we're closing in a little more quickly. And as time counts down, so close but not quite there, the Super Hog Riders only manage a 99% attack, where with the miners we get the job done and the 3-star. There was certainly no manipulating of the outcome of either one of these attacks, and I'm sure if you went back you would notice that they are the same. So really the decision is up to you. I'm going back to Queen Charge Hybrid. Thank you, Galadon, for going all the way to the end of the episode. Now get out there. Make the best of the rest of your day, week, month, and year. Be kind to other people, animals, and the planet, and I hope to see you all back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Galadon, it appears if you don't use miners, it's a major problem.